So the Ministry of Civil Aviation has issued more directives to handle the situation in airports, even as Northern India continues to face adverse weather, cold wave and fog. There will be war rooms at 6 metros airports, and another runway in Delhi has been equipped for low visibility operations. This is what Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has said today. There'll also be round the clock CISF manpower availability. Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has posted on X about this. Remember, the ministry brought out guidelines for airlines on Monday. Now these are guidelines for airports. So in view of the fog-induced disruption, standard operating procedures SOPs on mitigating passenger inconvenience were issued yesterday to all airlines. In addition to SOPs, we have brought incidents reporting twice daily for all 6 metro airports. Implementation of the DGCA India directives, SOPs and CARs will be monitored and reported regularly. He has also said that war rooms will be set up by airports and airline operators at 6 metro airports to address any issues with regard to passenger inconvenience. Sufficient CISF manpower availability will also be ensured round the clock. It has been Delhi Airport has been made Cat 3 operational today. That is what the minister has said, and he has also talked about recarpeting that will also be undertaken. My colleague Ishadrita Lahiri joins us with more details on the story. Ishadrita, we saw a number of guidelines and SOPs being issued for airlines yesterday after chaotic situations were reported from inside aircrafts and also at airports. And today, the minister has talked about how airports will be made better in the coming days. What are the new developments?
Well, the new SOPs and the notifications that have come in recently are also taking from the show cause notice that the Ministry of Civil Aviation has issued to the Mumbai Airport and Indigo Airlines, basically stating that they were not equipped to facilitate passengers in the situation that developed yesterday. Now, apart from all that you've mentioned, Vasudha, the DGCA has also asked all 6 metro airports to give 3 incidents reports in a day, so that any incidents that happen, any incidents like yesterday that happen, can be monitored. Apart from that, of course, there are war rooms that are going to be set up. There are more CISF personnel that are going to be deployed. And that apart, of the 4 runways in Delhi Airport, one has been Cat 3 enabled, as you said, and there's another one which will be Cat 3 enabled after recarpeting. So that's the new SOPs that have been put forward by the DGCA. Back to you, Vasudha.
Thank you, Shadrita, for joining us with those details. So the Ministry of Civil Aviation has issued more directives to mitigate the situation in airports. So yesterday there was an SOP that was issued for airlines, and this was after chaotic situations were witnessed at the Delhi airport and also inside aircrafts. In fact, in an unfortunate incident, a passenger was seen assaulting the pilot who had announced delays. The ministry has taken note of these incidents, and it has also, Ishadrita is joining us back on this broadcast. Ishadrita, what were the scenes like in the airport today morning? And also tell us what are the extra things that the ministry is doing? We also know that notices have been issued to Indigo. How is the ministry looking at dealing with the situations that are arising out of adverse weather conditions, which of course were also expected?
Well, Vasudha, the ministry has been on war footing since yesterday, of course, after the DGCA guidelines. Today morning, as I said, there were notices issued to both the Mumbai Airport and Indigo Airlines. I was there at the Delhi Airport for about 5-6 hours in the morning today, and it seemed like the DGCA SOPs had some kind of effect, because most of the passengers who had come in today had come in on time and knew about their flight delays beforehand. Of course, that was one of the SOPs put forward by the DGCA, that passengers have to be informed before time via their WhatsApp or on the airline's website if a flight is delayed or cancelled. Of course, there was also this other SOP that flights which are delayed by more than 3 hours can be cancelled by the airlines. So today at the airport, it seemed less chaotic than it was over the last 2 days, but yet there were about 100 flights that were affected, about 30 that were delayed, and the fog situation continues to hinder airline operations at Delhi airport.
Right. Jyotiraditya, how are the airlines looking at it? Because clearly yesterday, a lot of blame had to be taken by the airlines. There was this complaint that most of them were not addressing this need to have essential information put out at essential times. Passengers were, seeming very frustrated. So how are the airlines looking at it?
Well, Vasudha, the airlines are looking at it as, of course, it is a diktat by the Civil Aviation Ministry, and the onus was put on the airlines yesterday. So the airlines at this point are trying to ensure that a similar situation does not take place. Today, when we were at the airport, we saw a lot more airline staff on the ground trying to make sure that the passengers are taken care of, and if there's any sort of delay or any sort of problems that the passengers are facing, there were more airline staff on the ground to ensure that that doesn't happen. Of course, in terms of also cautioning the passengers, that has been done much better today than it was yesterday. Yesterday we heard there were people waiting at the airport for 8 hours, 12 hours, which is not happening today. They have been cautioned beforehand. Of course, the airlines agencies who we have spoken to do think that a lot of the onus is being put on them. However, they have changed their standard operating procedures since yesterday, and that shows on the ground.
Right. Thank you, Jyotiraditya, for joining us with those details. The ministry has come out with more directives for airports this time to mitigate the situation arising out of cancellations of flights due to the fog.